don't think Dallas' run game is holding back the offense. I think the offense is holding back Dallas' run game because they're not putting the emphasis or focus on it.
Of course, Emmitt, we can't talk to you without diving into some of the struggles of the Cowboys, and I know we've got a lot to chat about, but it's only week 3. So in your honest opinion, do you think Cowboys fans have the right to be worried right now?
I think they do, and I think Cowboys fans are oftentimes misguided because they look at the Cowboys from an emotional lens standpoint. I, as a former player and then as a former athlete, I look at things for the quality of play and the quality of the competition. Now, here's why I say that. I think the Cowboys got caught up going up against the Cleveland Browns. The fans did anyway, and saw the dominant performance that we gave. But they never once took the time to take a step back and ask the question, who do we play and what do they have to offer us that would give me the ability to feel and believe that our team is going to go to the Super Bowl this year? The thing that misleads us is, one, we played a very good Cleveland Brown defensive unit and a defensive front, which is awesome to play against. And our offense did a very good job in the first half, running the football and throwing the football and mixing up plays and everything else, keeping the Cleveland Brown defense off guard. On the offensive side of the Cleveland Browns, they were garbage. They could not produce anything, couldn't run the rock, couldn't throw the rock, and our defense looked very dominant, which they should have against that offense. But when you move to week 2 and you go up against the New Orleans Saints, it's a complete different thing. And so, but not having the knowledge of being able to analyze the game from that perspective, have you misguided in terms of what you should be expecting from your Cowboys team? Now, the Saints came in and ran the rock down our throat, which says our run game is pretty poor, but Cleveland was poor offensively. So we didn't get a chance to see how poor our run defense really looked like. They came in, they threw the deep bomb, they hit the ball down the field on the big time. So we couldn't get a rush on the quarterback. So the quarterback had plenty of time to throw the rock. The best thing that we got going for us right now is our special teams. And that's kicking field goals from anywhere on the football field. Offensively, we got to get it together. And we got to be able to run the rock as well as throw the ball. Now, we've shown that we can run the ball, and we need to stick to that. But our defense got some work to do, and Mike Zimmer is going to get those guys together because he's a man of pride, he's a man of skill, and we just got to continue to just take this one on the chair, but know that we got to play better this week.
Talking a little bit about depth, I don't think it's a huge surprise that it seems like Dak continues to struggle with explosive chunks of plays, and I think a lot of people are wondering if that's a talent issue when it comes to the wide receiver position. After CeeDee Lamb, it's just, Jake Ferguson when he's healthy, which is kind of a big drop-off. So do you think they need more help at wide receiver?
Most definitely. Most definitely. No disrespect to Brandon Cook. No disrespect to, I'm drawing a blank on the other wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
There's no disrespect to none of them. But somebody needs to emerge because it's easier to contain CD just through zones and everything else and limit his throws down the field. So someone else has to emerge as that legit go-to threat outside of CeeDee Lamb. And with Ferguson out, it's making it very tough. And so from a balance standpoint, we're limited. And what I saw in the first half of the Cleveland Browns game, we had a complete offensive scheme that showcased a lot of different formations, a lot of different movements. Eye discipline had to be there for the defense, which also helped in the running game. In the second half of that Cleveland Brown game, I saw a sputter, which also raised concerns for me in terms of not being able to get back in the rhythm. That's either through play calling or that's even through play of the players. And so that is a problem. We cannot afford to have a lull in the middle of the game or even come in not ready to play. Because when we do that, you see things that you just saw on this past Sunday. And so for me, it's about preparation. It's about our team being physically fit, mentally fit, and emotionally fit to go and compete at the highest level that we expect them to compete at. And if I don't create that environment in practice, it ain't gonna happen in the game.
Right. I believe that. Addressing the running back room, Zeke and Rico, RB1 and 2, but it's no secret that the run game is kind of an issue for the Cowboys. You mentioned it. So is it accurate to say that Dallas's run game is holding back the offense? And when do you think it's time to bring up Dalvin Cook?
I don't think Dallas' run game is holding back the offense. I think the offense is holding back Dallas' run game because they're not putting the emphasis or focus on it. Like I said, in the Cleveland Brown game, they went up against a very good, solid defensive front. And we ran the ball effectively. With Donald and Zeke. And we threw the ball effectively off of some of those runs. And so even when we ran the ball with Turing or Lamb on the reverse sweeps and stuff like that, we gained positive yardage. So the running game in totality performed in the Cleveland Browns game. Unfortunately, in this game against the Saints were scoring at such high pace, we couldn't keep up with it. We couldn't stop it on the defensive side and give our offense a chance to even get into gear. So when that happened, the run game suffers because you're falling behind so much. You can't really rely on them. You try to slow the game down by running the ball, but if you're not running effectively, that makes things even worse. And so there were some mistakes up front. There was just some mistakes up front that cost us, and we got to get those things corrected. But there's no doubt in my mind we can run the football.
Last couple questions for you. Touching the other side of the ball, to me, we're about halfway there in terms of, I feel like pressing the panic button on Dallas's defense. So after they allowed 44 points and almost, I think it was 200 rushing yards to New Orleans last week, Micah Parsons said that he liked Mike Zimmer's game plan, but he didn't think that all the guys gave 100%. So do you agree with Mike, or do you feel like this is more of like a cop-out excuse?
No, I don't think it's a cop-out excuse. I think guys played hard. I just don't know if we played sound. What I mean by playing sound is, are you gap fitting? Are you doing the things that you've been taught? If you're out of gaps and you got a running back like Alvin Kamara who sees you out of position and you give him space to do what he did, it's a wrap. You get that kind of space to any good running back, it's a wrap. So gap fitting and holding your gap is important in certain schemes, because if I have to fit this gap, block this gap, and you have to be over here, I need you over here. And so we close down the run lanes, the backdoor cut lanes, and all that kind of stuff. And that was a problem. Players cannot be jumping around, players trying to make a play individually, unless you're in the pass rush game. And even if you are in the pass rush game, then you still got to be gap sound.
The last time an NFC East team won back-to-back division titles was in 2004. Obviously, Dallas won it last year, but do you think it's theirs to lose? And also, who should they be most concerned about?
Yeah, I think it is ours to lose. But if we continue to play the way we played last week, someone else is going to step in. And I don't care if it's the Commanders. I don't care if it's the Giants. It doesn't matter. Somebody's going to step in, because we haven't shown that we have the ability to stop the run on a consistent basis, especially against a good team that has a good quarterback, good wide receivers, great scheme, and quality players. So that's what we have to do. And we cannot be the bully of the NFC East, thinking that we can bully the Giants around or the Commanders around, and definitely not going to bully Philly. So we got to actually prove to ourselves and prove to the rest of the division that we are here to stay and we are ready to play, period.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.